What's going on, guys? Spidey Cosplay here and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be going over the Amazing Spider-Man issue 500 where Spider-Man gets to meet Uncle Ben one last time. For the record, this is my first time doing a comic book video, so if you want to see more videos like this, please make sure you like and subscribe. Also, thank you guys so much for 6 subscribers. I know that's not much, but from my recent video about 3 weeks ago now, I did the MCM Comic Con video and that actually got 300 views and 10 likes. That is the most popular video on my channel right now and I can't thank you guys enough. Also, there's going to be a surprise announcement at the end of the video, so stay tuned. But without further ado, let's begin. Spider-Man's teaming up with the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men to stop the interdimensional mindless ones from destroying the city. Reed Richards created a device that would stop the invasion once and for all. However, he fired it too early and it released a villainous Dormammu. Spider-Man then gets in the way of Doctor Strange and Dormammu's fight, and that sent Doctor Strange and Spider-Man outside of time itself. It turns out that all of the heroes lost and that New York was gone. Since Peter's now stuck in time, he now has the ability to go to the future, the present and the past. Spider-Man can now change anything in his life. We then go back in time to Peter's science field trip, and then Spider-Man contemplates whether to get the spider out of the way so then he isn't bitten by it, and then he would never become Spider-Man. Spider-Man then sees himself surrounded in the future by armed men and women telling him not to move. Spider-Man's thinking about jumping in to save his future self to find out what's going on. His future self then starts talking with the leader of the armed people, William Lamont. William tells Spider-Man that it doesn't have to be like this. William's telling future Spidey that he doesn't have to do what he has to do, and that he's not as fast as he used to be, and that he's just trying to help future Spider-Man. Future Spidey then says that nothing matters anymore, and that he understands that William's trying to help him, but it's too late, and whatever has to be done, has to be done. He then shakes William's hand and says goodbye. He then looks back at Aunt May's gravestone and says that things are better this way for him, MJ, and his son, Ben. He then mentions that they had a good run and that MJ never stopped loving them even when it all went bad. He then says nothing else matters and then charges at the officers, and then future Spider-Man is shot down and killed. We then go back to the past once again, and Spider-Man's thinking that if he gets rid of the radioactive spider before it bites his past self, he can stop all of this, and that Uncle Ben could live. But then he thinks about all the innocent people who'll die without his help in the future. Then battles a decision and he doesn't know what to do. Eventually, he let the radioactive spider bite his past self, hurting his past self and his present self. Spider-Man then starts to hear Doctor Strange's voice, and he tells Peter that it took all of his power to find him in the time stream, and that he's too far down the timeline for him to come get Peter. Doctor Strange then tells Spider-Man to escape the time stream and to come find him, and to come back up to his own timeline so he can reach the present. We then see Spider-Man get transported through time to a fight with Sandman when he was in high school. Peter's not just seeing the memory, but he's reliving it, so that means he can still be hurt or killed. During the fight, he's then transported suddenly to a fight he's had before with Vulture. Vulture drops Spider-Man from the sky into a water tower. Spider-Man's drowning until he hears Doctor Strange's voice again, telling him to get up. He's then transported to a fight with the Lizard until Spider-Man pushes Dr. Connors off of him. He's then transported to a fight with Electro. He's then transported again to see his old girlfriend, Betty Brant, holding the body of her dead brother. Spider-Man tells Betty that there's nothing no one could do, until Betty slaps Peter around the face, telling him that it's all his fault that he's dead. He's then transported to a fight with Mysterio, and as Spider-Man's trying to catch his breath, the Hulk appears and attacks him. Peter's then trapped under debris that feels like steel. He then realises that he's under the ISO 36, which is a serum that Aunt May needs or she'll die. Peter's barely able to move from the debris, but then he remembers that this isn't a dream and that it's real, and with all his might, he lifts up the debris and gets free. He's then transported to the day that Gwen died by Green Goblin. He tries to save her, but he still failed. Spider-Man's now depressed, and Doctor Strange is telling him to follow his voice, but Spider-Man refuses, telling him that his life is full of violence and madness. Doctor Strange tells Peter that the greatest gift anyone can have is a chance to make a difference. He then assures Peter that he's made a difference for others that's enough for 100 lifetimes. Strange tells him that if he stops now, it would have all been for nothing. Spider-Man then gathers up the strength and carries on his journey. He keeps transporting to different parts of his life, fighting different villains and all the other adventures he has, until he reaches the present, where he's fighting with the other heroes. Spider-Man then stops Reed Richards before he shoots the device that loses them the battle. Spider-Man then explains the whole situation he's been in, and then Iron Man asks Reed if that's even possible. Reed says that it is in fact possible, and that the others trust Peter, and Peter acknowledges it. The heroes carry on until Doctor Strange gets into a fight, and he casts a spell that lets them win the battle and save New York. Doctor Strange and Spider-Man talk to each other after the battle. Spider-Man asks Doctor Strange about where the other Doctor Strange is when he was in time with him. Doctor Strange says that he's not sure, but he found this at the end of the battle and he gave it to Peter as a gift. Spider-Man accepts it, but then he realises that it's his birthday, so he rushes back home to see MJ and Aunt May saying happy birthday to him. After the party, Peter then goes outside to look at the gift Doctor Strange gave to him. When he does, he sees Uncle Ben right behind him. Uncle Ben says that the last thing he remembers is him being shot when he walks through the front door, but that doesn't matter now as Peter's there with him. Peter says that there's so many things he wants to tell Uncle Ben, and that there's so many things that he wants to ask his forgiveness for. Uncle Ben says that there's no need for such a thing. Uncle Ben then says that the one thing that would disappoint him is for Peter to be settled for less and walked away from what he believed. He then asks Peter if he's done that, and Peter tells him that he hasn't. Uncle Ben then tells Peter that he's taught him right and that his life still has meaning. Peter then tells him that he has abilities and that he has so many things he needs to know. Uncle Ben then responds by asking Peter one question: if he was truly happy. Uncle Ben tells Peter that at the end of the day, we lose people, we suffer, we go through pain. It's the price of being human. So he asks Peter at the end of the day if he is truly happy with his life. Peter then thinks about all the adventures he's been through. Peter then tells Uncle Ben that he is in fact happy with his life. Uncle Ben tells Peter that he's lucky that he has a happy life, and sometimes he doesn't know how lucky he is that he has a happy life. Peter agrees and tells Uncle Ben that he misses him. Uncle Ben says that he misses Peter too and that he loves him. He tells him to take care of Aunt May for him. Peter says that he will, and he always has been. And then Uncle Ben vanishes. MJ then asks Peter if he had a nice stroll on the roof, and then Peter told MJ that he loves her so much every day, and then the story ends with MJ wishing him one last happy birthday. And that was the story of how Peter saw Uncle Ben again. Honestly, this was a really good comic in my opinion, and it was really emotional at the end where he actually saw Uncle Ben. I know it's only been a couple of minutes, but you've just got to keep in mind that editing does take time, and that it did take a while for me. If you stuck around to the end, I really do appreciate it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and oh wait, you're probably wondering what the special announcement is. Well, let me tell ya. I'm going to be getting the Peter B. Parker suit from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Honestly, this is one of my favourite classic suits, and there's a lot of customization options that you could do to this suit as well. And I'm going to be going for like the sweatpants look. And yeah, honestly, Peter B's one of my favourite Spider-Man, and I'm happy to be having him in the suit collection soon. I will have a full suit review video on there, so you guys can definitely go check it out and see me wearing it for the first time on the cosplay channel. But anyway guys, that's the end of the video. Make sure you guys like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Yankee with no brim!